What up, military family? It's the Tondero twin in the building. I'm Phil, and welcome to Value in All Veterans, episode number 11, and of this show slash podcast. And I know we've been gone a little bit, had a lot of business going on around, different things that had us running all over the place, but we're back with another great episode. If you haven't seen any of the previous ones, go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Value in All Veterans. You can also follow us on Instagram at valueandall_vets. Have a very special guest in the building today, Air Force veteran, family member, friend, and just an overall great story of her career. I mean, she's Air Force, I'm Air Force. But, as well as having a great military career, she was also involved with modeling while active duty. And then also now she's a new veteran mother and just has a lot of great wisdom that me and Alvin want to share with you all in our audience who are either supporting veterans or veterans themselves, active duty, reservists. We talk to all military members. So without further ado, let's go ahead and bring her in, all right? Tiara Hilliard, what is going on?
Hi, how are you? Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Finally linking up on the show. I know me and Alvin have been trying to get you on for a while. I know you've been real busy with the mom life and everything and veteran life. I know how that is. How's everything going?
It's going well. Everything is going well. Fast, but it's going well. I'm doing my best to try to slow down and enjoy the moments being a new mom and, a veteran and all that. Just trying to make sure I don't miss these little precious moments. They're so little.
And they grow so fast. That is so true. But again, thanks for joining us, our veteran community. You're part of the family as well. And, I think you have a lot of great stories and wisdom to share with our audience with your journey through the military, into modeling, and then into motherhood too. But before we get into the details of, the tail end of your career and everything, let's talk about the beginning. So tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, what you did in the Air Force, and all that, where did you deploy, where were you stationed, all that good military stuff.
Okay, so I joined the military from Tampa, Florida. I went to University of Tampa, where I played college basketball, and it was just the time of my life. So after graduating, I just lived my life for like 2 years, and I was like, I need to get out of here, do something else. This ain't it. So I joined the military because I just wanted to leave where I was, just get out of the monotony of living, in the state of Florida, in my, small town. So I left. The main reason I wanted to join the military was literally to travel. And that's exactly what I did. As soon as I entered the military, I'm older, by the way. I was 26 when I entered, older than, during that time, most folks would enter. So I entered at 26. I immediately got stationed in Italy, which was beautiful. And if I could go back and live there today, I would. And from Italy, I was there for 2 years. And I went to Korea for a year after that. After that, I went to Herbert Field in Florida for 2 years. And then, that was pretty much my career. I was only in the military for a total of 6 years. The first half of that year was, boot camp, basic training, and all of that. So even though it was 6 years, it still feels like it was such a long time. Like just being in the military, you just feel like you're in a whole different world. So time itself, it just goes by completely different. So I went in as a knowledge operator. That was the name title at the time. I'm sure it's changed. 3DOX1, I think, was the... I can't even remember the thing. Was the career code.
The AFSC?
AFSC, yes, was the AFSC. And I just know I wanted to do something indoors. I'm from Florida, and the heat, no, I don't like the heat. I don't like the outside elements. So knowledge operator, my AFSC kept me indoors and away from the elements, and, just put me in that IT career field that, I was already studying in college, getting my bachelor's in management information systems. So I just rolled right into an IT career. So that was my goal, get into IT, something I'm used to, and, travel the world and get away from my, previous situation. Military life was in military life, you get up, you get down, like it's standard. Nothing's different from per branch. I loved it.
Mm-hmm.
The camaraderie, the family, the places you go, the people you meet, the lessons you learn, the broadening of your mind. It was a great experience. I wish everyone could serve, to be honest. Choose whatever branch you want, but Air Force, I'm sorry, it is the best branch. So if you want to go with the best, choose the Air Force.
Hey,
that's me, in a nutshell, as far as joining the military, where I'm from, and what I did. So
I mean, that's a hell of a career. I mean, even the places you went. I mean, Osan, which is where you met my twin brother, where he was stationed. So, and that's when I went to visit him. That's the first time I met you. It's a small world.
everything came full circle.
It's crazy. So, you went there. Then where'd you go in Florida?
Herbert Field in Pensacola, the Panhandle area.
And everybody knows Florida is hard to get everybody has Florida bases on their dream sheet. They never get it. You have obviously got it, and you from Florida, so that's not really fair. But you got in there, so that's good. I mean, amazing career, and there's just so much to say about everybody's experience in the military. I mean, it's so different too. Would you overall would say you had a good time, right?
I had a great time. I didn't have any of, the I guess the experiences that people talk about negatively about joining, and the oversight or the just monotony. I don't know. Like, it was a great experience. I obviously, every job, because it was a job, has its ups and downs, because you have to grow. You have to understand, the things they're trying to teach you and to prepare you for war. So, I mean, you learn different things to prepare for a different role, and that's wherever you go. So obviously, the military had its own way of doing things, and if you were cut for it or not, they figured that out right from the get go.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's so true. And I mean, that's why I asked, because everybody has different experiences. I mean, you talk to people, they were like, it was the worst time of my life, and that's okay. Like, I mean, it sucks that happened, but at the same time, it's real. Some people, they do not get no good bases, or they get great bases, but their AFSC, their job was terrible their whole career, or every base they went to was good, but their management, you already know, management is crappy, and then it makes the whole experience terrible. So
I was blessed to have the journey that I did, blessed to be on the journey I'm on, and I don't take anything for granted. So
that's just dope. That is so dope. It's great to hear too. I mean, so now, like, transitioning, my first question for you was, being in the military, you said 6 years, correct? Yeah, so for being in there for 6 years, and people might be like, "Oh, that's not a lot of time." In such a controlled and disciplined, and it's life changing environment, like mentally changing, transforming. Matter of fact, so from 4 to 6 to 20 years, even the shortest amount of time is going to change you for the rest of your life. So transitioning from your 6 year career in the Air Force to civilian life, like, what was the hardest part of adjusting, the most challenging part for you?
the most challenging adjustment I had to make was, honestly, so much freedom. Like, even though I traveled while I was in the military, now it's like you can go and no one's checking for you. And just, even though you know that and you know that's what's coming, you, in the back of your mind, you're subconsciously like, someone's gonna text me, someone's gonna look for me. Like, even today, like, I'm always telling folks where I'm going, even if they don't ask. Like, I'm like, all right, I'll be back. I'm going here. Okay, like, it's just, that's just something that it changes you. So just adjusting to, being on your own and making your own choices, and even with work, I verify, triple verify, confirm things or questions that I have, and sometimes it rubs the people the wrong way, and they don't know why I asked twice to confirm something, because I want to know exactly what you mean, so we're on the same page, so we're tracking. But it's just small things that you pick up, knowing that, hey, this is probably from the military. adjusting like things of my past. Like I'll meet up with my friends and like, oh, remember that one time that such and such happened, and I'd be like, dang, I don't even remember that. Like I don't remember past, the senior year in college maybe, but after that, it's just military, military, military. And again, it was only 6 years, but I don't have a memory of so many things, and it sucks. But at the same time, there's things you have to adjust with, and you try to make more memories and make up for that time. Because a lot happened in those 6 years. We don't just get up. We can't just get up and leave. We can't just go see a family member if they're on their deathbed because we just hey, this is gonna happen. I want to see them. We only got this much time to go see them. Like I couldn't be there for a whole month. I couldn't be there for 3 months. I couldn't be there 6 months prior to a passing of a family member because of the duty that I chose to serve. So it just it's just adjustments. Like being able to pick up and go is it's crazy how that freedom you feel when you actually get out and realize that this is something that you used to be able to do. Now it's given back to you, and you're like, well, dang, uh, okay, I like it. I remember this now. So
And it's funny because you were out before you entered at some point. So it's funny when you get out, it's like, wait, I'm supposed to already know, what this feels like, but it feels like a completely new feeling. You know what I mean? So I'll tell you, the veteran life and just the perception of what we see is still like so misunderstood. You know what I mean? Like when you're in and then you get out and you have this new lens of how you interact with people, how cherish life, how you are very disciplined and very controlling about your time. You know what I mean? Like I noticed when I got out, I don't like people wasting my time. Even like if I'm gonna waste time or shoot the crap with people, even that's time. So it's like I'm gonna be very selective with that. I don't just be hanging out like I used to. I'm very disciplined with my environment and my surroundings, and that's what that was my little adjustment, like me and Alvin talked about in another episode when it came to work. Very big adjustment in the workplace, trying to communicate, just like you said, like trying to get on the same page. People get annoyed, but it's like, look, I'd like to know exactly what you're saying before I go and do it. Because, in the military, you want to know because if you do or don't do something, somebody could get killed. Somebody could get injured. So even if we're just in the office now in civilian life, you're still wired like that, where it's like, I need to know in and out, backwards, forwards, everything. What
no
exactly I'm doing.
ambiguity, no guessing. I want to know exactly what you want, how you want it done. And if I gotta come back with something and you tell me this ain't right, okay, now we got problems. Like I asked you what you wanted.
I'm telling you, and it's an adjustment working with civilians again, and that's no, disrespect to civilians, but I'm saying coming out, being in such a intense environment like that, and then coming back to the civilian sector of things, working with people like that, it's an adjustment, just like we said.
I honestly automatically remember people's last names. Like first names, I'm like, oh, I don't know. I know it was something Lee. It was something Lee. Yeah. Like just because I'm used to last names. Like little things like that. It's just, I don't know. It's interesting.
So my next question would be like what would you have done differently prior to getting out, like getting ready? Would there, and this is a question essentially for people who are about to get out. Now that you're out on the other side, are there any things that you would have done differently to prepare before you got out that you think would have set you up a little bit better for success? Or did you think everything worked out pretty well?
So my transition plan from the military to civilian world kicked off right when they were spinning up the ability to still be active duty, but your assigned duty location could be a corporation, could be a business, could be a workforce that's helping you, adjust to civilian life. So I took full advantage. It was a new program, took full advantage of it. I'm not sure what the exact name of it. I apologize, but it's a program that within your 180 days of separating, you can take 6 months and you can use that 6 months to adjust. So honestly, I looked for a company, IT company or something like that, and I quote unquote light separated. You do most of your separating, duties or responsibilities before you leave, like the big stuff, scheduling, moving, and where you're gonna live after, and all this stuff. But that being out for 6 months and still having a paycheck kind of made me a bit more secure in my choices when I got out, and
Absolutely.
made me, be able to adjust a bit more easier. On top of that, I had, my fiance helping me along the way, who's also prior service. CJ, shout out to my boo. Helping me and guiding me along the way. So, 6 months, I left Florida, moved to Virginia, and I was in Virginia for 6 months. I moved back, I flew back to Florida to out process for the military. By that time, I had an apartment, I had job interviews. I saved up money just in case those job interviews didn't pan out. I saved up money, like 3 months worth of, my income at that time. So I honestly think I had a really great transition because I knew a year before I wanted to get out that I wanted to get out. A whole year, a year and some change. And the good and bad thing about that is like knowing that you're getting out, there's a countdown in your head.
Ooh.
So your attitude kind of starts to change towards the end, like senioritis or something like that. But knowing that I was getting out and sharing with other people that I was getting out, that's probably one thing I would change. Only because there's still a stigma of leaving the military. There's still a stigma that people inside the military place their fears on you. They let you know how they feel about getting out, how they fear getting out, how they know other people that didn't succeed getting out. So they share all this doubt and try to put it in your mind, even as you're out processing and you're going to the out processing appointments. Oh, when you get out, make sure you do this, or you're going to be homeless. Make sure you do like, always make sure you do this, or it's going to be catastrophe. Not make sure you do this, or you're going to have a slower process, or it's going to be a bit harder, but you'll still adjust. It's make sure you do this, or 100% you're going to not make it. So, my advice to those getting out, make the decision a year or so, even 2 years in advance, and plan it. Everything that we do in the military is a plan anyways, from you getting your job to you doing an exercise. Everything is planned out. So take what you've learned from that and plan your escape route, plan your transition plan. So without planning and just a last minute, I'm just going to get out, I'm not doing this anymore. I got 6 months. Let me see what I can do, and let me see what money I can save. Like, that is not a recipe for success. I'm not saying you won't be successful. I'm just saying it's going to be a rougher path to getting to a more comfortable spot. So the more time you give yourself, I truly, honestly believe the better off you'll be from the jump of getting out than later on.
No, I, for those of you that are listening who are transitioning out, please pay attention to what she just said, because planning is everything. She knew about a year out. And again, everybody's situation's different. But what Tiara is saying is planning will yield the best results. I think we really need to find that program that you were in, because I got out 2015. That program sounds amazing. I think if troops aren't taking advantage of that, they're doing themselves a big disservice, because it's no secret the government sees that a lot of military members are transitioning out and they're not landing jobs. They're getting into homelessness. They're getting into financial debt that they can't get out of within a year. Let's not even forget, most importantly, the suicide rate. Most troops are susceptible to suicide within the first 360 days of separation. So that's a lot of overwhelming changes that you do when you transition out. So having a plan will definitely help with that, let alone a 6-month program where you can go to literally a job, be there in that location, all paid for, get your foot in the door, all that good stuff, go back, out process, go back to that job you were just at. I mean, I think that's amazing. We definitely got to find the name of that.
Yes, I will get the information for you for sure.
Yeah, I think our audience would really, really appreciate that. As far as, being a veteran now and you're on the outside, like what values, what experiences or wisdom did you get in the military? Like what training do you think prepared you for veteran life? You know, I mean, was it discipline? Was it? I mean, what do you think made you a better person to survive out here?
Honestly, I can truly say the adaptability,
Mm.
whether it be adapting to new leadership, adapting to a new environment, adapting to a new you.
Mm-hmm.
It takes a lot of patience
Ooh, a new you.
to understand where you were, where you are, and where you're going to go. So that path where you're going to go is not written yet, but being in the present and being able to adapt and grow from situations, learn from situations, prepare for situations, prepare for your future. That adaptability, they teach you, they give you like 3 or 4 or 5 different scenarios of what could possibly happen and prepare you for every scenario. So take that mindset of preparing for 5 different war scenarios or 5 different, training scenarios and put it into your lifestyle. And I do this all the time. My husband probably thinks it's overkill, but if we're planning something, I'm like, okay, this, and this is 3 different options that we could possibly do. Like I always have options. I always have different plans when we go and do something. Like we're gonna take a trip soon, and I yelled in the whole house, exercise, exercise, exercise. Let's pretend we're packing the car. What is it gonna look like with all of our stuff in there? Let's pack the suit. Don't pack the suitcase, but put them in the car. See how we're gonna, let's play. What's it called? Tetris. Is everything gonna fit? Like I literally did that a couple weeks ago. And he was like, "You're crazy." I'm like, no, I'm not crazy. I just planned.
Yeah.
So it's just adapting, to your environments. Like I said, environment to a people, just that adaptability that you bring to your community, especially if there's friction or, you're new to a community, newly built community, or maybe you're the only veteran in the community. Just adapting to your surroundings will help you overcome a lot of things and help you bring things to the forefront to make sure, you're prepared for what can and possibly will happen. Just being prepared.
Man, it's so true because our other guests and all the other audience members we have in our community, a lot of them say that same thing, just the adaptability. It's just it's like a superpower almost, you know. People can't adapt, man. You just see it out here. People are just very rigid, you know, and it's not their fault, but I mean, in the military, I mean, from day one, you're just jammed in a room with all these different people from different faiths, from different areas, from different parts of the country, you know, from different cultures. And that's just on day one. And then you go to the workplace, your training didn't even start yet. And you're already adapting to that. And it just compounds through your career. And that's what I think. I mean, personally, that's my biggest thing I tell vets is, you know, our greatest gift is that you know, convenience is not a necessity for us. You know, veterans, we understand that, you know, if things aren't a certain way, I can still figure this out. You know what I mean? It's not a big deal. Man, you got some civilians out here. If it ain't like this, well, goddamn, it's over. Like we can't do nothing now. And it's like, nah, we can do something.
If you mess up their comfort level, if it's not at their level, if it's below, no. You have to, military teaches you how to be comfortable with being uncomfortable all the time. Like literally multiple uncomfortable situations you'll be in. Literally just wearing a uniform and being extremely hot, like so uncomfortable, or being extremely cold, like to the point where you still have to do your job to 100% the best of your ability correctly and still be uncomfortable. It's just like, I don't know, like that being comfortable with being uncomfortable is, the segue from, being adaptable. So that adaptability.
It's a superpower, literally. I mean, we can do a lot with a little, basically, you know.
Yep.
And I constantly tell vets that, like, never feel like you're inadequate when you go to a new environment, new job, new whatever. Like you have it in you. If you were in the military for 4 years, 2 years, 20 years, whatever, you know, you can make it work, and you just built for it. My next question is, you know, towards, I'm sure it was the tail end of your career, is you got into modeling. And I know a little bit about the story, but I definitely want you to share it with our audience. Like, how did that come to be? Did you even think you were going to be a model? And obviously you were doing it, so it did happen. So I definitely want you to share that story with us. How did that all play out?
Being a model, I don't even start. I did know growing up, I did want to be a model. I just didn't know how to one be a model. So knowing that I was leaving an environment that I was always told what to do, even from going to college. You're in another institution. I was institutionalized in school,
Mm.
institutionalized in the military. Now I'm out and I can do whatever I choose and whatever I've been wanting to do. So picking up modeling again was just one thing that I was like, you know what, let me just try to go hard with this. I'm in a really nice area. Yeah, I can get to New York from here, DC. I can explore this with no repercussions whatsoever. If I become, if it works out for me, it works out. If it doesn't, I tried it and I, checked it off of the list of things that I've always wanted to do. So definitely how I got into it was just something, like I said, something I always wanted to do. So, you do your research, you locate photographers, look for modeling calls, stuff like that. And again, my husband, being super supportive as he is, he would look for modeling opportunities for me, which landed me a modeling opportunity with Carly Kloss, where I modeled her clothing line that she released in partnership with Express. Walked, the runway in her clothes, met her, and she was at the time one of the top gross paid models out there, and just doing her thing. So, just modeling in itself kind of just embodies who I am as a person when it comes to showcasing your inner beauty, showcasing, you know, how your journey doesn't have to look like, you don't have to show who you are. Your journey isn't who you are. Your journey makes you into a person that you will be. Your journey isn't who you are. Like your past isn't who you are. You have so much growth and potential in you that your journey is just a part of who you're going to become. So being a model, I was able to say, I am here, I am present. You're gonna get all of me, my past, my present, and I'm gonna show you a little bit of the future. So I don't know. I can't wait to get back to it. After I became a mom, it kind of slowed down to a screeching halt, adjusting to twin mom life. But yeah, being a model is definitely something that I would love to get back into. One, to break the stigmatism of modeling all in itself. Two, just it's a great time. You meet some good people. Just like being in the military, you meet so many great people. The modeling industry is the same way. You meet so many people from different backgrounds with some great stories. So yeah, modeling is definitely something I want to pick up again. I may even bring my kids into it. So we'll see.
I mean, very inspiring story. And I remember when you just started, like I started seeing the pictures, and then you had the hashtag combat the contour. I was like, ooh, that's a hot hashtag, and you just kind of kept going at it. CJ was kind of, you said he was like your photographer at first, and he was taking good, yeah, and he was taking good shots. He was taking great shots of you, and very inspiring. Even just being a male, like looking at it, especially a black male, to see not only a black veteran, but a black woman of darker skin modeling and just looking so confident. Because we know in modeling, a lot of dark skinned women don't get as much exposure as fair skin, light skin, white people, whatever.
Yeah,
But
their
for
come up
you to,
story is a lot different.
but man, you was out there, you was killing it. You was just in your own space, like just like you said, I'm here. This is all of me, and I mean, it was the drip was crazy. It was just like, yo, she is really doing this right now. Everybody was so hype, and I was
Thank
like,
you.
yo, she killing it. And then I found out CJ was behind the scenes, like doing, kind of building you up in contact. I was like, man, y'all got your whole little operation going on. That was so dope, man. Um,
Thank you. And the hashtag was from combat to contour,
from
like
combat to
contouring
contour.
makeup, contouring face. And the slogan is military women. are not just fit to fight. We're also fit for fashion.
Mm.
So from combat to contour.
From combat to contour. I mean, I was like, ooh, that's a hashtag for you. Oh, that was dope. That was dope. And I'm so excited that you're still you still have aspirations to get right back into it. I mean, you being a mom, I mean, family first before everything. Everything stops when it comes to family, but knowing that you still have aspirations to get back into it. I mean, I can't wait for you to hop back in there and get on that runway and do your thing. Cause you tall too. So I mean, I know they want you on that runway now. They want you on that runway. Um, but speaking of modeling and then you know, taking a seat because you became a mother. What has being a veteran mother been like?
Being a veteran mom, again, circling back to that adaptability, is a lot of things that being a first time mom, a veteran, it's a lot of planning. It's a lot of, like you said, my time is precious. There's so many things that have to get done in a day. There's so much structure that we set throughout the household because there's two of them.
Mm.
Unplanned. We didn't plan for two. My husband was wishing and praying for two, and the Lord heard his prayers. So we have two baby girls. They're actually 12 months, Zara and Zuri. And life has completely changed. It's such a blessing to see them grow each and every day. Being a veteran mom, you totally completely can see yourself reaching back into some of your military training to get to the places that you need to get with your kids.
Mm.
For example, having one baby is tough, but having two, going through the same phases as teething, not wanting to sleep at night, changing the way they eat, liking one thing and not liking another, not being able to sleep for a couple days, or even getting 1 or 2 hours of sleep in a couple day stretches. For me, I knew I was prepared for that part because in training in the military, you are sleep deprived during some of those exercises just because they need you to be able to function on little to no sleep because war has no alarm clock. It's not gonna, okay, time for war. All right, we're preparing. Let's go. Everyone's ready. You ready? No, like it's gonna pop off when it pops off. So being sleep deprived and having my babies go through the stage of not wanting to sleep at night or teething, I was able to be like, all right, I'm probably gonna get 1 or 2 hours of sleep, but I'm gonna bounce up and be ready for my kids.
Mm.
My husband, he is a veteran as well, and he did 4 years. He got out, and when he got out, from the moment he got out to now having children, there was a lapse in time there where he was able to adapt into civilian life before he became a parent. I was 1 year out, maybe 1.5 years out before I became a parent. So my training and the things that we did in the military were still in my head. They were still in the back of my mind. So when it came to the sleep deprived situation, like he was like, no, I'm so used to getting my 8 hours. This is crazy. Like, why won't they sleep? And I'm like, it's okay. This is what we got to do. Helping, coaching him in the middle of the night, having him, do certain things that I knew the girls liked while, patting him on the back or holding him a certain way or walking in a circle, while you're half asleep, feeling like a zombie. Like preparing my husband for that was, being able to prepare my husband for that was a huge benefit because the military prepared me, being sleep deprived and all. So aside from, the being able to function without sleep, just being a great planner, and executing throughout the day, what time they eat, what time they go to bed, what time they take a nap. Literally, we have a schedule and I live by that schedule.
Mm.
Because they get cranky or I can't get any work done. My husband and I, we work from home. So there's just things that we have to stick to no matter what. And that's just our life right now. Until they get old enough to function on their own, we're going to stick to the schedule. And no one's messing that up. No grandmas, no cousins, no.
Mm.
It's bedtime. It's bedtime. And bath time is bath time. Like, because we need our peace of mind too. There's some moments where CJ and I, we have to go to our separate corners because we've just been with the kids and been with work, and just the day has really gotten to us where we're just like, listen, I love you, but I don't even want to hang out with you right now. I need some my alone time. So again, it all circles back to the adaptability and to just knowing that every moment, every time, it's just a little season. Every phase, you always overcome one, then prepare for another one. Especially with kids, they're growing. So you get they can't walk to okay, now they're walking, so now they're climbing. Okay, now they're throwing food. Like all of this, the transition from baby to adult. It's just a ride, and I cannot wait to see how they blossom. But yeah, military life. Kudos, to my military training because it's definitely helped me and currently helping me, raise my children.
Absolutely. I mean, it definitely helped me too. Hey, shout out to Zazu for real. Those are my little nieces right there. Beautiful twins. I'm a twin, so they part of twin. It's crazy y'all had twins because CJ grew up with twins. Me and Alvin being around, and now he had his own. It's just, life is just crazy. It's a cycle for real. But I felt the same way when I had my daughter. The sleep deprivation and being able to run on that, I think, was my greatest value that I got from the military. I mean, it sucked, but man, it really helped, man. I was really running on nothing, but I was like, if I didn't, I can't imagine not having my sleep deprivation, essentially training way of life, and then having a kid and being sleep. I don't know what that must be like going cold turkey, like, oh, I'm just living my life. Then, oh man, I'm running on no sleep. Like that must be horrible. Like at least we had.
And people do it, and they do it successfully. It's just it's something that even though people moms that all over the world are having babies and are sleep deprived and are still getting it done. Just having that extra practice in the military, I guess lessen the hurt, lessen the blow of not getting enough sleep. It's like, okay, I know what this feels like. I know that I'm sleep deprived. There's no guessing what's wrong with me. Like I'm not sleeping, and the sleep deprivation and how I'm acting, how I'm behaving, is clear signs that okay, after this, after we put them down, go get you some rest. Like you have to find ways, to get your rest. But when the babies need you, the babies need you.
That is just it's a beautiful thing. Again, all the vets out there, if you already have families, shout out to you all taking care of your families, handling your business. For those of you who are veterans and thinking about life moving forward, again, military training does give you some sort of preparation and skills that will help you be a on your feet a little bit more as a parent. And I would even add to that the fact that you say planning ahead has really helped you. I mean, look, the pandemic happened. Nobody planned for that. And being a vet, okay, we in a pandemic. Let's get it together. Like, we're not going to freak out. Like, it's like we just got to get it done. And that's another superpower, essentially, that we had. Like what was that like for you when the pandemic hit and being – I mean, you had them during the pandemic, which is the craziest part.
I gave birth in April of last year.
That was the height of it.
Excuse me?
That was like the height of it. That's like
yes. So that was actually when all the government shutdowns and all the actual rules and regulations and policies were coming down hard about what to do. So look, in the hospital right after birth, I'm sitting there, they're getting wheeled in, the babies are coming into the room with me, and we knew we had to have our mask on and take our temperature when we entered the hospital. Okay, that we know that policy. Let me back up. Before we even gave birth, around 3 weeks before I gave birth, CJ was no longer allowed to come to the doctor's appointments with me. He couldn't see his kids on the monitor. He couldn't get any updates from the doctor. I, would go and FaceTime him or do my best to try to FaceTime him when cameras were allowed inside and, pass him along the information. So you go from, again, first time mom of twins, recently out of the military, disabled veteran, going to hospital appointments, doctor visits, with no support, coming from the military with all the support, going to doctor's appointments with just you, and your mind is like, okay, I hope the doctor, everything is good today. I hope he doesn't tell me any crazy news and I'm just by myself and I can't handle it. So, with the pandemic, we started not being able to be, together for doctor's appointments. We're rolling to the birth. No one is allowed at the hospital but the parent and, one visitor, which obviously was going to be my husband. So we get there, we have the babies, or I have the babies. We're in the hospital, and immediately they say, "Okay, you can't take your mask off anymore." Like every time a nurse come in the room, CJ had to have his mask on. Anytime CJ went in the hallway, he had to have his mask on. And these were policies that were changing as we were there. Because before, as long as you're in your room, you can have your mask off. Then it was no. Every time you're here, the whole time you're here, have your mask on. And I just, you know what? And I'm like, CJ, we have to get out of here. We don't know what's going on, but I do not want to be in the hospital anymore. And then coming home, my kids didn't know anybody, didn't meet anybody until maybe 6 or 7 months after they were born. They only saw us. They only stayed in this house or went to doctor's visits when needed. So, it definitely wasn't the same. The last time I interacted with people before the birth was February when we had a baby shower. And after that, the next time, I think April, May, June, July. I can't even tell you when. And I had anxiety. Like I had anxiety introducing my kids to people because of the pandemic, because there were so many unknowns, because I was a first time mom, diagnosed with anxiety, leaving the military, like all those things coupled with a pandemic that we weren't prepared for, just changed becoming a mom during the pandemic. Like I didn't have the normal birthing experience. I didn't have the normal welcoming home situation. But circling back to adaptability, we changed the way we operated. CJ only went out to get groceries. I literally never left the house. So think of that. You're a new mom, new disabled veteran. You can't leave the house. You have to figure out how to control your mind and understand that this is just a season. This will pass. You will get through this. Everything that's happening right now has an end date. You have to continue to be positive. Open a window, get some sunlight, step on the porch or something, because your mental state was all that you could control. Because everything else was out of whack. Like the pandemic was knocking everybody down. So you can control you and what's in your household, and you had to keep your mind as positive as you could, because it was crazy. Again, new mom in the pandemic. Never imagined giving birth during the pandemic. Who would? So the fact that we have overcome it and we're still overcoming it as, regulations and policies ease up, it's just another blessing and another, kudos to the adaptability.
Man, I tell you, it's been a journey. Your guys' story is very epic. I mean, even your transition from military to veteran, and then also getting into motherhood during a pandemic. I mean, this is a hell of a story. Which just gives us more confidence as veterans. That's why me and Alvin definitely wanted to. We got a lot of guests that want to be on, but it's like, we got to get Tiara on. Her story the veterans need to hear about this. So yeah, shout out to you all. Shout out to Zazu. Y'all been through a lot and are doing well, thriving. A little off the cuff, before we wrap up. I mean, just what does it mean to you to be a black woman in the military? What sort of things do you feel looking back on your career and now having two twin daughters? What sort of what does it mean to you to be a black veteran, especially a black veteran mother? I'm trying to pick your brain. What does that mean to you?
What does it mean being a black veteran mom? It means I broke the mold. I broke the stereotypes. I made it. I achieved. I succeeded. What you thought I was going to turn out to be, I did not. I'm here in the flesh, a military veteran, a black military veteran diagnosed with disabilities and still thriving, having a whole family, having a career, and just loving everything that is part of my journey. the good, bad, and indifferent. So being Black in the military, you know, even though I was in the military serving this country, you still know I'm Black. They see me as Black. They don't see me as, this is a person that's coming to serve our country and die for our country. This is a Black person coming to serve our country and die for our country. Always. That's always there. That doesn't go away. It's never unseen. So being a veteran and a Black woman, now I just don't wear the uniform. People are extremely surprised when I tell them I'm a military veteran. Like, oh, really? Oh, and you're in the Air Force? Oh, wow. Even when I first got my job, one individual, a civilian, made a statement that to me made it seem like she thought military people just got out and couldn't do well, didn't succeed. She's like, oh, for a military veteran, you should be very proud of yourself landing such a great job. Excuse me? I'm proud of myself all the time. Just because I landed this job doesn't make military veterans any less of people. Like, we can land jobs. It's just people that think less of us, that damper our mindsets and put doubts and fears into our mind, think that we can't do things. And people on the other side saying, oh, well, when you get out, if you get a great job, kudos to you. What do you mean if? We're prepared to get great jobs. It's society thinking that getting out is going to lead us to, a downfall. It's not military or bust. It's military and stepping stone. Like, it's military and rise. So I don't know. You just got to change the mindset of people when you get out. Because again, some people don't know certain things that they say to you. One, they're triggering. Two, they're inconsiderate and not inclusive to the fact that people can succeed outside of the military. I'm doing it. You're doing it. Thousands, hundreds of people are doing it. What the news don't show is the success stories. Right. What they count on is the fear and the doubt. They don't show what life looks like afterwards.
And that's exactly why me and my brother made this podcast and show, to display that veterans are out here being very successful, very active in their communities, and thriving. And we'll talk about the troubles that come with it, the challenges that we all face. But at the end of the day, it's not a disability just to be a veteran. You know what I mean? Like, just because you got out doesn't mean you're disabled. We come out with invisible traumas too, which is a whole nother discussion. But we can make it out here. Those comments, I'm telling you, I heard those all the time too. It was so triggering, and it's just one of those things where, and it's, again, being a Black veteran is a very complicated relationship with the military and society in itself, which is issues and topics that me and my brother, along with other veterans, want to explore, because the Black veteran experience is very exclusive and very different from many other people at the same time. So I'm so glad you touched on those points, and that's why I asked the question, because you're still thriving, but hey, we still getting that BS on the side too. Don't get it twisted. It ain't all Instagram over here where you only seeing the triumphs. Like, on the back end, yeah, there's some stuff going on. You know what I mean? We go through stuff. Man, Tiara, this has been such a great episode. I'm so glad we were able to get you on the show. Is there any last words of wisdom or encouragement you want to give to any veterans or people who are about to get out and become veterans?
The one thing just want to touch on, as before, for those about to transition, thinking about getting out, have a plan. If you don't have a plan and you just know you want to get out, link up with people that can help you make that plan. You have the Value in All Veterans folks. You have, organizations within the military that will help you make that plan. They don't just drop you off, outside the gates and say, figure it out. There are plans in place for you to transition and be successful transitioning and answer the questions that you need answered before you leave. So that's the advice for those transitioning. Those that are out here and getting it, just keep doing you. Keep, fall back on the training that you received. Forget if you had a negative, experience in the military. The training was the same regardless if you had a good or bad experience. The training was the same for everybody. So try to fall back on that and try to adapt to your situation and just stand firm in who you are and be proud of who you are, be proud of where you've gotten to today, and just try to look for, the silver lining and what's to come. So, whatever season you're in, it's just a season. Whatever moment you're going through, it's just a moment. There is overcoming. There is truth to your path. There is destiny. There is, positivity. There is light. So as long as you don't be the own darkness, light will always shine. You cannot dampen yourself. You cannot, doubt yourself. And we do it. It's a natural thing that we do. But once you feel yourself doing it, just try to snap out of it. Try to talk to people, other people that, again, has been successful in getting out. Surround yourself with individuals that you want to be like, or individuals that you see doing something that you would like to do, or individuals that's just thriving and whole. You have to change your environment in order to become who you want to be. Just like the military took you out of your environment and put you in theirs, they have to change you from the person you used to be to the person that they needed you to be when it came time, to get down and to do the war thing or whatnot. So just take that same type of mentality. You have to change your environment and get into situations to be successful, around people to be successful. Other successful people breed successful people. So
I tell you, y'all, and as you can see, Tiara's in my circle, so I got successful people around me. Me and Alvin definitely do that. Man, thank you so much for coming, Tiara. We really appreciate you, everything that you do. We appreciate your service. I know our audience members are probably going to be wondering, where they can find you. What's your social media? Where can people find you if you'd like them to?
Oh, for sure. So my social media is most likely on Instagram. You'll find more modeling photos and family photos of my girls on Instagram at Tiara, Tiara underscore Sevon, Sevon. That's my Instagram. Everybody go ahead and follow my precious babies at The Real Zazu Twins, TheRealZazu They are growing and they're on a journey to explore and take over this world. So go ahead and follow them. And on Facebook, I am Tiara Sevon as well. So yeah, just follow me wherever, whenever. Message me if you are a veteran or in the military looking to transition, need some advice. I'm always down to help fellow veterans, give as much advice as I can. I have people, in my circle of my military family now, coming to me saying, you know what, you got out, you did it. Let me know how you did it. How'd the medical thing go? How'd you get your disability on? How'd you, move into this place? Like I'm dropping all the dimes. I'm not holding anything. There's no secrets here. I will share what I know. And if there's something new out there that I didn't do and I find out, I'm gonna let you know that too. So reach out to me, message me. I'm here for you guys, and I appreciate everything that Value in All Vets are doing for us. Let's keep this going.
Absolutely, absolutely. Again, this is going to wrap up episode 11 with Tiara Hilliard in the building. Thank you for tuning in to Value in All Veterans again. Again, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Value in All Veterans, and follow us on Instagram at valueandall_vets. Again, our mission is to alleviate any anxiety or fear military members may have about life outside the gate as a veteran. I'm Phil. This is Tiara, and we're here with you. Tiara will definitely be a guest in the future as well, so this won't be the last time you see her with us on here. And I'm signing off now, and we will be back with episode 12 coming soon. All right? Peace.